but professionally as well. Or actually, I probably ought to say vice versa, professionally, but certainly personally as well, to where it can affect their family and the ability to provide for them. There are several examples that come throughout my career. One being Ranger Smith. Ranger Smith was a great young non-commissioned officer in 1st Ranger Battalion. And one evening, contrary to the standard safety briefings that you give, each and every day, young Ranger Smith decided to avoid or to not listen to several of the pieces of advice that was given to him by the chain of command. Number one, poor decision. Number one, don't drink. He was underage. Now, certainly young men and women being young men and women, I certainly understand their desire to use alcohol over the weekends. I'm kind of guilty. I did it at a younger age. However, I always advocated having that safeguard in place, and it's something that I used to talk to these young men about before, the weekends. Have a Ranger buddy, have a friend, with you. Anyhow, he decided to drink. Poor decision number 2 in Life's About Choices is he decided to drink and drive. He was going to get on a motorcycle and he was going to go from point A to point B without getting caught. Nobody thinks they're going to die. I mean, nobody thinks that a poor decision is going to result in their lives. It doesn't come to mind simply. And most, individuals who get caught for drinking and driving will tell you, I thought I could make it home without, swerving or whatever, and getting caught, getting ticketed for driving under the influence. So poor decision number 2, getting on a vehicle. Poor decision number 3 was speeding on that vehicle. It happened to be a motorcycle in this case, and I think Ranger Smith was going about 100, the cops say over 100 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour when driving that motorcycle. And then certainly poor decision number 4, and it really wasn't a decision, it was a cause of the events, drinking, driving, speeding, is he didn't see the red light, zoomed through it, hit a vehicle, and he died as a result. I'll never forget the next day, maybe it was 2 days later, one of the organizational leaders saying, hey, we're gonna have a chapel memorial for this young man. And I think I thought to myself, maybe I said it, out loud, hell, I'd put him in a cardboard box and send him home to mom and dad, and I wouldn't give him that memorial ceremony. Now, I know many of you will sit out there and look and say, but that's kind of harsh, man. I mean, everybody makes mistakes in life, and you got to learn from those mistakes. Unfortunately, he'll never have the opportunity, but again, kind of harsh, considering it was just, a mistake. But what I'll tell you folks that are watching this is that mistake, it was one thing for Ranger Smith to lose his lives, but the fact that he took 2 kids' life as he collided at that intersection, I believe the ages were 10 and 7, it might have been 9 and 6, regardless, 2 young men that never had the opportunities to live their lives, not because of their poor decisions or the poor decisions of their parents, but the poor decisions of this Ranger. See, that's what it's all about when it comes down to Life's About Choices. Values, start in the household. They're instilled to you from your parents and your relatives. They're reinforced by friends. They're reinforced by your schools and or your neighborhoods that you grow up in. And then they're defined as you get a little bit older in life and your character starts to become defined. Values, boy, how critical they are to ethical decision making internal to your organizations. But more importantly, not only is it about your organization, it's about making your employees better men and women. And I wrote that down somewhere on the webpage. See, to me, that's one of the biggest things that Fifth Principle in my organization can provide to you, is maybe we share some of our experiences from a perspective of, hey, we've lived this, for many, many, many years, and here's the tragic consequences or outcomes that we've seen as a result. The workplace is a family. It's an extension of the family, and if it's done right, what you should have is brothers and sisters, fellow employees looking out for one another. So please remember that, life is truly about choices. It's something that you ought to be saying in each and every single day, saying it to friends, saying it to coworkers, saying it to the seniors, peers, people you like and people you love. And people maybe that just work with you, maybe you don't like them or love them, because as in the case with Ranger Smith, you never know the consequences that others can have on you personally as a result of poor decisions.